It seems early, though. Do you feel like the timing is now?
Yes, 100%. So it always seems early until it's not, right?
Right,
So
right, right, right.
I think the time. Well, I definitely think that the time is now, like this decade, for social robots.
In this video, ahead of some big milestones for Tesla, including AI Day 2 and a massive update on the Optimus humanoid robot, I attempt to answer the question, is Tesla stock about to get crushed? And before we get into it, if you want to instantly unlock over 100 exclusive videos, plus my 10-year Tesla stock price targets and loads of other perks, including optional access to my Tesla valuation model, join our growing community of thousands of supporters on Patreon with the link in the pinned comment. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment-themed merch in the merch store. In case you're new around here, generally speaking, throughout Tesla's history, following extremely important events with very bullish information, plans, insights, and ideas, Tesla stock tends more often than not to get absolutely crushed. This may in part be due to the fact that a lot of investors were buying the hype, buying the rumor, and then hoping to sell the news. Another large contributing factor, I think, is generally speaking, most Wall Street stock analysts don't know what the fuck they've seen, and therefore it must be bad. No one in the mainstream finance media knows what they've seen, and therefore it must be bad. And many investors also don't know what they've seen, and therefore it must be bad. Will AI Day 2 buck the trend? Will Tesla for once actually manage to get through to the dolts who are usually disappointed by extremely good news? Probably not. Sorry to rain on your parade. So just to set the scene, Tesla stock today under $290 per share. Year to date, down almost 30%. And over the last 1 year, up less than 15%. It has been a very bumpy ride, some wild swings. But as I've said 420 quintillion times, I'm not aware of a better risk-adjusted opportunity in the market. Plenty exist, I just don't know about any. Kind of feels to me like Tesla's stock is currently spring-loaded, and that's an understatement. However, many events outside Tesla's control continue to absolutely hammer the stock. Today is a great example. Tesla stock down over 4%. Why? Panic, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And what has caused that? The Fed, in the US, once again, hiking interest rates, seemingly intent on absolutely destroying the US economy. Now, I'm no economist, and I really do mean that, but I do believe I understand how the economy works better than 99.9% of people. I wasn't born with this knowledge, I've just spent some time trying to understand how things work. By the way, if anyone's curious to learn more about how the economy works, great book, highly recommended, Basic Economics by Thomas Sowell. The audiobook runs in at about 24 hours. Literally, but it's worth it. And through the eyes of a Tesla stock investor, you'll find many incredibly relevant examples. Literally automotive industry, economies of scale, the whole thing. It'll help you understand Tesla and their absolute dominance a lot better. So the caveat out of the way, the fact that I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I've been saying for months in private conversations, both relating to Australia and the US economy, these interest rate hikes are not going to age well. There's so much anecdotal data on the ground that should not be ignored, but is being ignored by the Fed and in Australia, the Reserve Bank of Australia, the RBA, ratcheting up interest rates to fight inflation. It has seemed obvious to me for months, and we're talking 3, 4, 5+ months, that further rate increases are going to be absolutely disastrous. From a stock investor's point of view, generally speaking, because the stock market doesn't really care about how a company's performing, instead it cares about totally irrelevant shit like interest rates. Interest rates go up, growth stocks go down, generally speaking, but this is what happens. Hence Tesla stock down over 4% today, on the back of another interest rate hike from the Fed. I personally believe that the dipshits making the decisions at the Fed and the RBA don't know what they're doing, are looking at ancient data, lagging indicators, have massively overcorrected. And finally, when these dolts actually have some data to show what's been obvious to others for many months, we overdid it, they're going to be massively, aggressively reversing course. Now, I don't want to get too far down in the weeds here, but here's a few basic things to contemplate. If your goal is to fight inflation, and you think, okay, well, raise interest rates, that fights inflation, right? But the inflation you're attempting to fight by raising interest rates is caused by things nothing to do with basic economics, but instead, temporary supply chain challenges and issues as a result of the absolutely insane fascist shutdowns and lockdowns around the world, destroying businesses, stopping people producing things. Remember that time when Elon said, if you don't make things, there are no things? That was a major warning. And then, of course, there's the printing insane amounts of money. What did you expect? But it seems that the Fed at this point in time is literally trying to destroy the value of housing in the US. I'll be pretty surprised if house prices in the US don't get crushed by 10, 20+%. Of course, I'm no expert. I don't know what I'm talking about, so take it with a grain of salt, but that's what I think is around the corner. This is all a very long-winded way of saying at this point in time, I personally believe that the Fed has massively overdone it with interest rate hikes, and higher interest rates, lower prices on growth stocks overall. We've seen Tesla get clobbered. Never mind Elon's ongoing Twitter saga and plenty of other things as well that are adversely affecting Tesla's stock price and artificially suppressing it. My spidey sense is telling me that we have an almost perfect storm for further pain in Tesla stock over the short term. Imploding US economy by overreacting brain-dead Fed. High interest rates, freaking investors out, scaring them away from growth stocks rather than investors paying attention to what the companies themselves are. Oh my god, that's a growth stock, I need to sell that, I need to go into value right now, the rates are high. So in addition to an imploding economy, the fear, uncertainty, doubt and panic surrounding that, plus sky-high interest rates, which I believe the Fed won't realize is a massive, massive mistake for a little while longer until they get some more data to show what everyone already knows. And by everyone, I mean the people who I admire and respect who have been sharing their thoughts about the economy. I won't name names here, but we probably all know who I'm talking about. Some very smart men and women. Both tend to be on the same page as me. There's also a potential letdown in terms of Tesla China production and deliveries this month. I'm not going to be making any adjustments to my delivery estimate. It's probably going to be over the mark, but you never know. The latest data out of China is suggesting that Tesla hasn't quite managed to produce and deliver as many vehicles as most Tesla bulls were expecting. Of course, you should all know by now, a little bit of lumpiness in quarterly deliveries is to be expected. Nothing's ever going to go perfectly smoothly. But people watching this channel don't comprise the majority of people buying and selling Tesla stock. Most of the people buying and selling Tesla stock are box-ticking institutional investors. Did they miss the Wall Street consensus estimate? Oh, they did, okay, we better sell. Literally, that's all the thinking that's involved. And the icing on the proverbial cake, Tesla's AI Day, Part 2. Guaranteed to be completely misunderstood, in fact not even comprehended by 99% of people who watch the event. This is solely a recruiting event for Tesla to get the world's best engineers in terms of AI and robotics working on the humanoid robot, and yeah, sure, lure a few to the company for some other projects like autonomy as well. This was the case for AI Day 1 as well. The sole goal, not the primary goal, the sole goal is to recruit talent. This means that Tesla won't be spoon-fed investors. This is not going to be an Apple event. There will be zero wankery. There will be zero rehearsal, or very little. This is going to be raw, nerdy as and go over almost everyone's head. That's the point. If you're not the target audience, you won't understand what you've seen. However, the stock market is going to be looking to this event, expecting this to be like an Apple-esque unveil of a new product. They're going to be massively disappointed. And you know what happens when everyone's disappointed about a Tesla event? Yeah, no, I don't know what happens either. If anyone can tell me what might happen, I'd love to know. I have a very strong conviction that non-experts, as in non-AI experts, non-robotic experts, will see what Tesla unveils at AI Day 2 and their progress and be super disappointed. However, I think experts in the industry will bust nuts left, right and center. We'll definitely need a mop and bucket to clean up the mess. That's how impressed I think the people that know what they're looking at will be. But the world's best and brightest, most ambitious, creative and driven AI and robotics experts aren't the majority of people buying and selling Tesla stock. Can you read between the lines? I'm seeing some predictions from Tesla bulls who believe that Tesla will actually open orders for the Tesla bot at AI Day 2. I'm on the record. The odds of this are about as high as Mark Spiegel realizing that shorting Tesla stock is not an intelligent decision and that it might be worth visiting a therapist to work through his obvious issues. I will be very, very impressed if Tesla's humanoid robot can do some extremely basic tasks such as walk. Literally just walk. No. I literally just mean bipedal motion. If it can walk without falling flat on its face, that will be massive progress. In addition, a few very simple manual tasks that require the smallest amount of dexterity and a bit of balance. Picking up and moving a box. This will be mind-blowing progress. Of course, just imagine what happens if Tesla's humanoid robot climbs onto stage, walks up the stairs, falls flat on its face. We've got the Cybertruck window all over again. I wonder how that could impact Tesla stock. This is an important distinction to understand. What will impress experts within the AI and robotics industry is very different from what will impress a typical retail investor, a Wall Street stock analyst, or a clown in the mainstream finance media. Now, I do want to be clear. I have absolutely no idea what the Tesla stock is going to do in the coming days, weeks, months, or years. Saying otherwise would be nothing short of complete and utter delusion. The stock market is far too unpredictable over the short and medium term. However, my suspicion is that we're going to get another delicious opportunity, an event that artificially and unfairly suppresses the price of Tesla stock in the wake of AI Day. Headlines everywhere. Disappointing. Tesla robot falls the over. Can't do shit. What a joke. Boston Dynamics are better. Short Tesla. Could be wrong. Probably won't be. One person whose opinion I will value and very much look forward to following Tesla's AI Day 2 is none other than Lex the Goat Fridman, who had some very interesting comments today on Tesla's humanoid robot and whether or not the time is ripe.
Speaking of social robots, Have you heard about Tesla Bot, the humanoid robot?
Yes, I have. Yes. But I don't exactly know what it's designed to do. Do you?
Oh,
You probably do.
no, I know it's designed to do, but I have a different perspective on it. But it's designed to, it's a humanoid form, and it's designed for automation tasks in the same way that industrial robot arms automate tasks in the factory. So it's
Okay.
designed to automate tasks in the factory. But I think that humanoid form, as we were talking about before, is one that we connect with as human beings. Anything legged, honestly, but the humanoid form especially, we anthropomorphize it most intensely. And so the possibility, to me, it's exciting to see both Atlas developed by Boston Dynamics and anyone, including Tesla, trying to make humanoid robots cheaper and more effective. The obvious way it transforms the world is social robotics to me, versus automation of tasks in the factory. So yeah, I just wanted to, in case that was something you were interested in, because I find its application in social robotics super interesting.
More from Lex and his guest in just a moment, but I wanted to discuss this, an interesting perspective here from Lex. He does acknowledge the utility in terms of a factory, doing work, physical labour and so on, but is really emphasising the social aspect of the Tesla humanoid robot. And I don't think he's referring to the applications for the Tesla Q Virgins, although it's probably inevitable at some point, but more in terms of the social implications. Tesla robot as a friend, as a helper, someone or something to listen, as a companion. Think about all of the elderly people on Earth today who are super lonely, super isolated, don't necessarily have family nearby. I think it's fair to say that most elderly people on Earth are a little bit lonely, if not extremely lonely. Just imagine if they had a Tesla bot available to alleviate some of that burden. It may not be a perfect replacement for human interaction, but it's probably going to go a decent way. If you wonder about the potential market side for Tesla bot as a social robot, forgetting about the potential for useful labor, you only need look at how many people on Earth today own a pet. This isn't a perfect analogy, but it's the best that I've got. I hadn't really considered the social robot aspect of this anywhere near as much as I should. I'm really focused on the economic impact, but this could have a huge, and I mean huge, social impact as well. Just imagine a kid who's having a hard time making friends at school, is being bullied, being able to come home to a supportive Tesla bot, even if their parents are still slaving away trying to put food on the table. There's 1,000,001 different applications for Tesla bot in terms of a social humanoid robot. These are just a few examples. Something I really hadn't thought deeply about until this was raised by Lex Fridman. So shout out to Lex.
We did a lot of work with Pepper, Pepper the robot a while back. We were like the emotion engine for Pepper, which is SoftBank's humanoid robot.
And how tall is Pepper? It's like,
Yeah, like I don't know, like 5 foot maybe,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big. And it was designed to be at like airport lounges and, retail stores, mostly customer service, right? Hotel lobbies. And I mean, I don't know where the state of the robot is, but I think it's very promising. I think there are a lot of applications where this can be helpful. I'm also really interested in, social robotics for the home, right? Like that can help elderly people, for example, transport things from one location of the home to the other, or even like just have your back in case something happens. I don't know. I do think it's a very interesting space.
This is an extremely important application. Again, going back to the example of people who are a little bit older, maybe their partner's passed away, they're divorced, they're now single, there's no one else in the household. What if they fall over and break their hip? What if there's a medical emergency? Having a Tesla bot in the home just to keep an eye on you could be the difference between calling an ambulance, getting to hospital and surviving versus rest in peace. Mark my fucking words, I will be first in line to buy a bunch of Tesla robots if they're able to keep an eye on my family as they age.
It seems early though. Do you feel like the timing is now?
This is a big question. Another way to think about this, is Tesla too early with their humanoid robot, or is the time right? Keeping in mind, this is a long-term project. This isn't going to happen tomorrow, but is now the time to be starting, to be holding AI events, to recruit talent to work on this project. Let's see what Lex has to say.
Yes, 100%. So it always seems early until it's not, right?
Right.
I think the time.
Lex is struggling a little bit here. Must be some nuance in the answer. It's a yes, but let's see what else he's got to say.
I definitely think that the time is now, like this decade, for social robots. Whether the humanoid form is right, I don't think so. No, I don't. I think like if we just look at Jibo as an example, I feel like most of the problem, the challenge, the opportunity of social connection between an AI system and a human being does not require you to also solve the problem of robot manipulation and bipedal mobility. So I think you could do that with just a screen, honestly. But there's something about the interface of Jibo, it can rotate and so on, that's also compelling. But you get to see all these robot companies that fail. Incredible companies like Jibo and even I mean, the iRobot in some sense is a big success story that it was able to find
and a niche
thing and focus on it. But in some sense, it's not a success story because they didn't build any other robot, like any other. It didn't expand into all kinds of robotics. Like once you're in the home, maybe that's what happens with Amazon, is they'll flourish into all kinds of other robots.
Interesting. So what Lex has said there in essence is that it's definitely the right time, as in this decade, so great time to be working on it in terms of social robots. However, he's also made the distinction that he doesn't personally believe that a humanoid form is necessary for the applications of a social robot. What does this mean for Tesla and the humanoid robot? In a nutshell, Tesla should focus on the big hard problem: bipedal motion, reasonable dexterity, decent balance, something that can actually provide useful physical labor, and as a huge unintended side effect, a bonus, something that comes with the territory. If in addition to nailing the humanoid form, bipedal motion and so on, Tesla's humanoid robot, the AI itself, can be reasonable and have reasonable, compelling social interactions with humans, Tesla will in essence be killing two birds with one stone. As always, I'm super curious. Please leave your predictions for what we'll see, what will and won't happen at Tesla's AI Day. Leave your guesses in the comments below. And just to wrap things up once again, to address the question, is Tesla stock about to get crushed again? Well, hey, I don't have a crystal ball, but if I did, I wouldn't be surprised if it answered yes. I could be wrong. I hope I'm not though, because the cheaper Tesla stock is, the more it continues to get smashed, and I mean smashed into the ground, the better for me, because I'm still accumulating with every spare cent. I really hope that the overall reactions to Tesla's AI Day Part 2 are disappointment, pie in the sky, distraction, just focus on EVs, you dickhead Elon, and so on. And I'm praying intensely every single night for hours at a time to the flying spaghetti monster, hoping, dreaming, and wishing for a sequel to the Cybertruck window event. In other words, stunning progress, at least to those in the know, that is interpreted as an absolutely epic fail by the general public, e.g. Tesla robot tripping over, fumbling the football, so to speak, when trying to pick up and or move an object. If Tesla's made any reasonable progress in this direction, it will be truly stunning. But that's not what the media, the analysts, and most retail stock investors will see. Let's see what plays out. And just between you and I, Tesla, I mean, if you low-key want to put a tripwire on the stage and just sort of set up an accidental trip, I'll take it. The bigger the discount on Tesla stock, the better. So, I mean, I'm not saying you have to do that, but no one will notice. And by the way, guys, heads up, posted another exclusive video to Patreon. I actually forgot I'd made this video. It's about 6 months old. Had a conversation on Twitter today that just reminded me. Fair warning, trigger alert. You're probably going to get mad. A few of you will definitely unsub from my Patreon after you watch the video. You may even want to cancel me, and good luck with that. If you're not already a member on Patreon, you can join with the card in the corner or the link at the pinned comment. You'll gain access to that cancel-worthy video, plus more than 100 other exclusive videos and instant up-to-date access to my Tesla stock price targets out over the next decade. And yes, for the record, the Tesla bot does start to have a meaningful impact on my Tesla stock price targets in the tail end of this decade. So, see you over there. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you want to support the channel and instantly unlock over 100 exclusive videos, plus my 10-year Tesla stock price targets and loads of other perks, including optional access to my Tesla valuation model, join our growing community of thousands of supporters on Patreon with the link in the pinned comment. You can also pick up some Tesla, Elon, and investment-themed merch in the merch store. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. Please let me know your thoughts on today's video in the comments below, and click the card on screen now to watch the next video.